Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to another one of my end of the year videos. I am filming these a little bit earlier than I normally do, but for these couple videos I'm making this week, I've pretty much established what's going to fit into this category anyway. There aren't any new authors I'm really planning to try before the end of the year, so this one should be good. And also I'm planning for this video to be a bit quicker than normal. I mean, I know I say that sometimes and it doesn't happen, but because this is a video about favorite new authors of 2022, I think a lot of you might know most of these because I've talked about their books many times. So what I'm planning to do is introduce the author, the kinds of books that they write, and then tell you what my favorite book by that author is, because a lot of these authors are going to show up on my top 10 of the year. They're also in so many of my recommendation videos because whenever I can, I recommend them on those videos, right? So again, I'm planning for this one to be a bit quicker, and I don't have them in any order. I'm just going to show them and do what I said. Right? Okay, so we're starting with an author that I think is really in the running for my favorite of the year, and that's Elsie Silver, and she writes small town, kind of Western-esque or equestrian, at least, related books. I've read 3 of her books so far, so I've read these 2, which are in the Chestnut Springs series, and I've read the first book in her Gold Rush Ranch, I think, which is, I think, more centered around racing, where this one, this one was the first one I read, and this one is a bull rider. And then this one is a ranch owner, and they're brothers, right? So my favorite book by her is obviously Heartless. This one is a nanny and a single dad, and he's grumpy. She's sunshine. He's not looking for love, and she's just looking to have, a summer away from her life. And she falls for this guy's kid and then him. And it's beautiful, and I can't wait to read more of her. I think she's going to show up on tons of people's list, and big thank you to That Tall Book Girl, Cheyenne, for introducing so many of us to this author. She's fantastic. An author that I discovered right at the beginning of the year. This author was one of the first authors that I read. This was also an author recommended to me by you guys, and that is Lily Maine, and this is the Monstrous series. I actually haven't read the 2 in the full trilogy yet. I've been wanting to get to these because the 3rd one's going to be coming out soon. So I want to read these 2 because this is about one couple. She writes gay monster or fantasy romance. So this one's going to be fae. But these ones are kind of post-apocalyptic, monster romances. So I own the first 3, but there's 6 out total right now, and I love these books. My favorite one, it's funny because this one is on my 6 stars of the year, and I can't wait to reread this one. This one is about Win and Danny, but I honestly think my favorite book by her is probably Eden, but this one being the first in the series and introducing us to a lot, I think that's why I had given that one 6 stars. But yeah, this one is a big purple monster who is shirtless and wears a kilt and has a tail, and he's the sunshine, and his love interest is a human military guy, and he's the grump, and he also is an amputee. He has a prosthetic leg, and I love these 2 so much. And then the Reich, this one is about a big scary monster and his human. And then there's also, let me see, Gloam. What's the other ones? There's Gloam, Seraph, and I think there's another one too. Gloam, Seraph. Is it just those 5? I'm not sure. Either way, I love these, and I think Eden is probably my favorite, and I can't wait to read more by Lily Maine because these monster books, they're very smutty, they're very delightfully spicy, but they also have so much heart to them, and they make me so happy. And then an author I discovered because of TikTok. I actually have a couple on here. Oop, the light is changing. Let me pull this a bit closer and try to stay out of the light because you know what? It's been dark all morning, and now I'm filming and the light's changing, and I'm not getting up to change right now. So, and that is Amara Ray. I discovered Amara Ray because someone made a TikTok about Lifeblood, and I wanted to read it. These are all fated mate. They are witches who are hybrid, so they're all a witch and something else, and then they're finding their fated mates. So this one is a warlock and his witch, who he takes her captive. This one is a, is this the, tell me, Blood King and a witch who is part fae. And then this one is Willow, and she is, now I can't remember what she is. She is part, like, she's a fire fae, and Toric is a berserker. And then there is Zephyr, and this witch, she is a shifter, and her hero is a shifter as well. And then this one is Tareen, and this one, she's also half shifter, and her hero is a demon prince. So I'm really, really loving this series. I very much want this series to continue, and I wish Amazon would stop being an asshole and unblock Amara Ray. But you know what? We can't always get what we want, but she is one of my favorite authors this year. I love her stories. They're very spicy, but also very emotional, and I just love her. And you can binge her on KU now if you'd like to. Then we have Mila Finelli. Now, Mila Finelli, the author, is new to me this year, although this is a pseudonym for an author that you all might know, but I won't be telling you because it's a secret for now. But this series is the Kings of Italy, and so books 1 through 3 are currently out. The first 2 are about a couple. This is Frankie and Fausto, Francesca and Fausto, and Francesca is supposed to marry Fausto's son, but he's gay and he doesn't want to marry anyone, and Francesca doesn't want to be forced into anything, so she ends up becoming his mistress instead of his daughter-in-law. And then this one is about kind of like the enemy in these two and the sister of the heroine, Gia. So this is Gia and Enzo, and Gia ends up getting kidnapped for revenge, but Enzo, he has bitten off more than he can chew with Gia because she is not going to be a complacent prisoner, and I appreciate that about her so much. Next, we have another mafia author who has just swept me off my feet, like really. I didn't love the first book that much. Like, it was just fine. Like, it was all right. But these books have just gotten better and better for me, and they managed to be so brutal, yet so sweet. And these heroes are all just like alpha mellows for their women. So this is Niva Altaj, and I realized that I like stopped saying my favorite books for these last 2 authors, so I'm sorry before I do that. Tareen is on my favorites list. This is my favorite one by Amara Ray, and Mafia Madman is my favorite by Mila Finelli. I'm so sorry that I didn't do that, but I remembered because I want to tell you my favorite book of these ones. But I started with Painted Scars. These ones are like, most of them are all like an arranged marriage or forced marriage. This one's supposed to be a fake marriage for a certain amount of time. The hero is actually in a wheelchair because he was in an accident, and the heroine is going to like be his fake wife for a certain amount of time. This one is Russian Bratva. This one is Mikhail and Bianca, and this is my current favorite one in the series. This one is our heroine is speechless because of an accident when she was young, and our hero Mikhail is also with the Bratva, and he doesn't like want to get married, but he has followed the heroine in her ballet career, and when her career is over and she's supposed to get married, he doesn't want her to marry anybody but him, and I love that. He also is a single dad in there. Then there is Hidden Truths, and this one is Sergey and Angelina, and he catches her when she like escapes from this man who's like taken over her family's like I think they're in the cartel, and she escapes from Mexico only to end up in the hands of Sergey, who is a little unhinged. He definitely has some PTSD from his time in the military, and so but he finds that the heroine calms him, and so he takes her and he wants her, and she's like, this man took me, but he is so gentle with her. I loved it. Then there is Ruined Secrets, and now this one is an arranged marriage between Isabella and Luca, and she really, really wants Luca. She does, and I think it's her grandfather sets up this marriage for him, where he finds out in the beginning of this book that his wife has cheated on him, and so then he gets asked to marry Isabella, and she has had an eye on him for a very long time, and he doesn't want to be, he feels like a creepy old man that he's married to this like 18, 19-year-old young girl. He calls her a girl, but then something happens to him. And I'll tell you, it's a bit of a spoiler, but it's also not, because it tells you in the prologue. He loses his memory, and she lets him believe that he's deeply in love with her, and she is able to help him be a good leader in the mafia, and he would have been killed if not for her, because people would have figured out what was going on. So I really liked this one. And then the newest one was, let me see if it's in here, see if I remember. Stolen Touches was the next one, and that's Salvatore and Maline, who Maline is the sister of Bianca from book 2, and Salvatore is the New York branch head of the Cosa Nostra. So I just read that one too and really liked that one, and that has a hero who is an amputee as well. So I've loved all of these books, and like I said, Broken Whispers is my favorite, and I can't wait for more to come out. Whoop, it's gonna be amazing. My books are stacked everywhere. Okay, then we have Misty Walker. This is an author I also found from TikTok, but not from someone's TikTok about her. I found her from her own TikToks. She made a lot of TikToks about like the business side and about like merch and like how she does what she does. And so all of these books, I actually ordered books 1 through 4 from her without like knowing too much. Like really, I mean, I'd seen some of the TikToks she'd made about her books, but I ordered these basically because I wanted to support her. And for, I think it was for like July weekend, she had a deal where like if you bought all 4, you like saved. So I bought the 4 that were out, and like MC romance is not my favorite thing. So it was also, I was kind of like, well, I might buy these and then I might end up like giving them away because this was kind of dumb of me to buy these all. But guess what? I've really liked them. There's actually 5 of them out. I read them all like pretty quickly. So there was Birdie's Biker, Truly's Biker. This one is an age gap, and the bikers are actually like taking care of Birdie, like keeping her safe because her father is in danger, and she falls for the head of the mafia. And then there is, yeah, Truly's Biker and Truly and Roach, or Rock. I don't know how we say his name. He has a tiny teacup chihuahua who I think her name is Karen. Honestly, I think her name is Karen, and she like rides in the back of his hood with him, and he's also a mostly mute hero. He is a survivor, or like he has PTSD from the military, and it's between him and his friend's daughter. His friend died in the military, and when he comes back, he like becomes kind of a protector of these two, and the young girl, as she grows, she's kind of in love with him. It's great. Then there's Bexley's Biker, and this one is actually my favorite in the series, and this one is between Khan, who is the VP of the biker gang, and the heroine. Her name just went right out of my head. Hold on. Her name is Bexley. Oh my god. The book is named Bexley's Biker. I'm sorry. Can you tell I've been filming too many videos this morning? But she is the lawyer for the club. And she also is on the run, kind of, sort of, from an abusive ex. So she tries to lay low. Like, that's why she, like, the kind of law that she practices, she has changed her name and she tries to stay low. But when Khan gets put on house arrest, they're kind of in a, like, they spend a lot of time together because she's helping him with his case. And this one is a kinkier one. Like, this is a strong, tough girl who like, has a soft side. Sorry, my brain farted out. And, like, in this one, she put, "You're in for a kinky ride." I loved it. And then there is Riley's Biker, and this one is between Riley and Coyote. And so he is actually, like, he's a nomad, and he had a one-night stand with this woman named Riley, and she ended up having a baby out of it that he didn't know about, because she didn't even know his name, but she stole his cut when she, like, left after their one-night stand, and he's been looking for her ever since. And when he finds her, he discovers she has a baby, and she is, like, the daughter of a rival biker gang, which is very interesting. And then the last book in this series that came out was Petra's Bikers, and this one was actually a menage. And there's 2 bikers in the group that we know that they have, like, topped women together, and they band together. And so this one is Petra is the heroine, and she was actually rescued from a really bad situation that they saved her when they were after someone else. And then Moto and Sly, they have been with women together before, but they also care about each other a lot. So they will fuck each other, but it was always kind of just like when they wanted to thing. And now when they want to be with Petra, they want them to be a triad together. And I really liked that. I really did enjoy Petra's bikers quite a lot. And there's a lot of trauma that Petra has to get over, and I really like how they help her with that. All right, another author I found on TikTok. I really did find a lot of these on TikTok, but I've talked about this author a ton, and that is Jess Wisecup. I found Between Wrath and Mercy back in March, and I absolutely fell for it. I loved it so much, and I think Jess is just such a sweet person. I've had her on my channel before, and this is her only like series so far. She has 2 books out, so I like the second one the most. I know not everybody did, but I really did. I really love this book. But this one is about Emmeline and Rain, and this is a second chance romance. When Emmeline, when her husband and her daughter go missing, she reaches out to the prince of the land, who is actually her ex-love from when they were kids. They were never fully together because he was engaged to her sister, but when her sister died pretty tragically, she and him had a falling out, and they never even like had the chance to be together because she was married off to someone else. So yes, I love Jess. I love these books. And yeah, the second one's my favorite so far. I am very excited for more of that. This author I found on Instagram because someone had posted the covers of these books, and I immediately had to have them. And so that is Jillian Bonder, and she's actually a reader and reviewer herself. And these books are, this one is like historical fantasy, and it has time travel, and this one is like historical paranormal. I love The Oath the most. This is my favorite. This author only has these 2 books so far, but I loved this one so much. But this one will give you Outlander vibes. Our heroine Maggie is from modern times, and she goes to visit her grandmother in Scotland after she gets broken up with and like loses her job. So she goes to stay with her grandmother, and there is these this gray tower, which is this like long-standing Scottish keep, and it's very like mystical and magical. And when she goes for a hike one day, she ends up going into a cave, and she wakes up in, I can't remember which time it is, but is it medieval Scotland? I wonder if it says. I don't know if it says what year, like right on the back, but she wakes up like way back when in Scotland, and she falls for Colin, who is the laird's brother of this place. So there's that one. And then The Oath is about the brother who is the laird, and he gets bound by a blood oath to Cora, who is a witch who had actually, when she was young, been like burned at the stake. She was almost killed by a religious zealot, and her mother does a job for Malcolm, and in return he must promise to marry her daughter and keep her safe. And literally, like, it's a blood oath. Like, if he doesn't marry her and protect her, then he'll die. So definitely like a forced marriage, because Cora didn't volunteer for this either, and she was forced into it. But I love how it works out. Then an author that my friend Crystal kind of introduced me to, as well as some other friends who read her, I just became absolutely obsessed, and I want all of these books so bad. And that is Lana Perchik. I've listened to all these audios. The first 5 or 6 of them are on AnyPlay. You can just binge them all. And then the last 2, I bought them on Amazon because I wanted to read them. But these are like a post-apocalyptic, like the apocalypse was a long time ago, and now Fae kind of rule the world, and humans are kind of hated and hunted. But our heroine, she was in a frozen state for 2,000 years, and she wakes up and she has powers, and the hero has actually been cursed where no one can see him and no one remembers him, and he's just lived a very lonely life since he was punished for something that he did. And when our heroine wakes up, she's being attacked by some people, and he's like, oh, it's a filthy human. But then she can see him and talk to him, and he's like, holy shit, this is amazing. So he tricks her into a bargain with him, and he's going to take her back to like a Fae stronghold and kind of use her to get his curse broken. But there's a lot more that goes into it. So this is just the first book. There's 8 books in this series out so far. So my favorite one was this one. I can't remember the name right now, but I know it was one of the vampire ones. So I will show you that. This was my favorite one because the first 3 are the season of the wolf, and it's about wolf shifters. The next 3 were the season of the vampire, and then the current season she's writing is season of the elf, I think. And I'm loving these. And then the last author I want to mention, I don't own any of her books yet, but this is my friend, Ashley Mack, and she has started publishing. Like, she started publishing just back in like August or September, and she's really cranking these out. So she's writing kind of like dark romance, as well as she has these kind of like fluffy, spicy college novellas that are coming out. They're not all like, the first one, they're students, but the next one, I don't think that they are. But she has the Senses series she's putting out. I just read the 3rd book. Just came out today, the day that I'm filming it. So that's exciting. And these are spicy and fun. And she really has just been putting in all her favorite kinks and her favorite things to read about. But the series, the Senses series, is about a family of sisters and the drama that's happening to their family. They're from a very wealthy, like, connected family. And one of the first one's a little bit like mafia connections, kind of, but they aren't all like that. They're just, you know, powerful families fucking around with each other, basically. So I've really enjoyed that. And I had to mention my friend because, you know what? I get to promote my friend sometimes. And I honestly have enjoyed her books. Like, they have been fun. They've been fun. And very creative, too. The newest one definitely had winter vibes in a really good way. The Sound of You. I really enjoyed that. So anyway, yeah, so there you go. There are 10 new to me authors from this year. Oh, I forgot to say it about Ashley's. My favorite book of hers so far is The Sound of You, the newest one that I read. So there we go. But yeah, check them out. I think pretty much all of these authors are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can read them that way. You can check them out. Tell them Jen sent you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I put up new videos 4 to 5 times a week, so definitely check that out. If you want to support what I do here, please check out my Patreon and channel memberships. I do this full time, so any help you send my way is greatly appreciated. It keeps the lights on around here. So thanks so much, friends. Bye.